Okay, for those of you who don't know, Scooby-Doo is a talking dog who solves mysteries with his best friends Shaggy, Velma, Daphne, and Fred. They've been busting perps and villains in masks since 1969. And now that I've said that, on to my theory! Was this Scooby-Doo movie staged? Well, according to this theory, yes, it was, Isabella. First, there are four key things to prove this. I'm going to tell you three of them now, and the others won't make sense until later in the theory. So, one, at the start of FrankenCreepy, all of them lead on to the villains by describing them all. Speaking of describing, you know what rhymes with that? Subscribing. If you're watching this anyway, you won't mind hitting that sub button and leaving a like, would you? Well, you don't have to. Anyway, they described them by saying which mystery with who was in which. That makes sense. It's confusing though. Number two, it shows that in the movie Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed, number 2 of the live action ones, not the crappy one where Shaggy's voice wants to die, but the one where Matthew Lillard plays him. It shows how they keep costumes of the past unmaskings and some of the villains found near the time of that have been near Captain Cutler, in which of the costumes they still have of them. They also still have a lot more in that, and some of their more ridiculous villains, and not so smart ones, Anyway, the third key is that in Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, Season 2, Episode 24, The Haunt of a Thousand Voices, the Scooby Gang gets to meet the actors who played them. So, here's more proof that I am right. At the credits, Alex Superfan2112 points out that earlier in the movie, the clock tower was destroyed, and later it's back. The same thing with Scooby-Doo and Shaggy's Lederhosen clothes. They get ripped off, and when the camera looks away from them, they have their normal clothes back on. And the train's engine that was on fire, smoking, that crashed into the tower, is now somehow back on the train, even though it was completely not back. After Alex Superfan 2112's house was broken into by the Department of Defense, probably because he was saying information he wasn't supposed to, they take him away. But here's the thing. The fourth key. He had to be watching all of this on a movie player or on something, maybe in the theaters, to be able to say all of this. And throughout the movie, there are good changes and quick changes and fast movements, such as good editing between scenes, like when Scooby and Shaggy are saying that they're full, it pans pretty fast to pigs flying, the fat lady singing Hell Freezing Over. One more thing that I can't remember that I didn't write down. Now, for me to put this all together for you. The Scooby Gang got Matthew Lillard, Kate Micucci, Great Lyle Griffin, and Frank Welker to play them as they always have throughout Scooby-Doo history, except for a few things, which we won't talk about. Anyway, and they probably paid the prisoners to get out, or they got them from the faux ghost from Scooby-Doo to Monsters Unleashed that I mentioned earlier has to be connected. And they paid them to come work for them in the movie for money. They gotta pay back for the crimes that they did. These villains are known as Captain Cutler, Cuthbert Crawls, who is the Green Ghost or the Phantom Shadow, C.L. Magnus, Redbeard's Ghost, Lila, Mamba Wamba Zombies, and Mama Mione, or the Iron Face, as well as everyone else in the town, having them star in their own movie, FrankenCreepy, just as it says. And Velma would never even look into the thing that she did look into, that I can't remember the name of, that old town... that old timey clock thingy, and she would never even turn on her friends. But she has done that before, but it was all because of saving their exhibit in Scooby-Doo, Where's My Mummy? Anyway, that's just a theory. A Franken theory. Happy theorizing. See you next time.